Hello, it is Thursday, September 23rd, 2021. I'm Kendall, and this is my morning entry. Before I get into it, I'd like to ask you if you like this content, please don't forget to, there it is, subscribe, and also if you like the video, like it, comment. I'd love to hear your feedback. Alright, so yesterday I finished my breakdown of My Cousin Vinny as a cozy mystery and found something very cool. Specifically, the most pivotal scene in the entire film was an overlooked bit that hardly entered my brain, and probably hardly entered yours. So that's what I want to talk about. Hint, it has this guy in it.
His name's JT.
Before I share that, though, let's do a quick review of goals for the last few days. Alright, yesterday's goals. I absolutely completed the My Cousin Vinny review, which I'm excited to talk about, and I also completed my first class for the week, with one more to do tomorrow. I've not yet reviewed stories, so I can submit my 2 stories to Critique Circle, but I'm hoping to do that by tomorrow. If I don't get to it, I won't be too upset, since the My Cousin Vinny exercise has really been informative for my writing. I mean, this has been a good use of time, providing lots of important feedback as is. With that said, let's get to the breakdown of the Oscar-winning favorite. Wait, what? Oh yeah, Marissa Tomei won Best Supporting Actress in 1992 for My Cousin Vinny, putting this very odd comedy among the higher pedestals in Hollywood, so keep that in your back pocket. So, My Cousin Vinny is a screwball comedy, that's a technical genre, about a New York lawyer who comes to the South to defend his cousin against a murder charge. But as we know, it's also a story about a bad lawyer who learns to be a good one, and also a story about a guy who learns to get help from others. And it's those 3 storylines that I first discovered when I started breaking down the scenes. Storyline 1 is how to win the trial, right? That's your MacGuffin. Find the murderer. Storyline 2 is how Vinny becomes a good lawyer. And then storyline 3 is how Vinny becomes a better person. So let's take a break and say that for any transformation story like this to work, we need to know at his heart that Vinny can become all of these things. Back to the 3 storylines. Each of them has what I call locks and keys. A lock is something keeping Vinny from getting his goal. And a key is the hint at how to unlock that, how to solve that. For example, for the trial goal, Vinny needs to disprove a witness using the cook time of grits. Remember that? They're talking about the cook time and how long it could have been before he heard the shot and saw the people. So he unlocks this lock with a key he received in an earlier scene at the diner, where he learns about grits. Remember early on he's at the diner and the guy's explaining grits? That's the key. And then later on in the movie, he's able to unlock a very important lock for the trial using that key. So that's locks and keys, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's dive in. So each storyline, remember there's those 3 storylines, each of those has 3 to 5 of locks in them. So for the trial story, for example, we have the grits lock, we have the glasses lock, leaves, confession, and of course, the posi-traction tires, right? Those are all the locks that Vinny has to unlock in order for him to win the trial. For Vinny to become a good person, he needs to trust Lisa, take the trial seriously, and trust Lisa's gifts, most notably her photographs. She's been taken since the very minute they arrived in town.
Oh, yeah, you blend.
All keys. In Act 1, we have lots of keys being dropped, like the grits, but also when the judge gives Vinny the procedure book, that's a key. Or when he and Mona Lisa talk cars at lunch, that is also a key, right? It lets us know, oh, they both understand cars. The whole first half, actually, is the collection of all of these little clues until a final dramatic point. That's the midpoint. That's about halfway through the film. It's also, in this movie, called by me affectionately the usher suit scene, right? This is that scene. This scene is where it all comes proverbially crashing down. Literally every lock that Vinny is facing, except for one, is now locked. He's wearing the wrong clothes. He showed up late, which is a procedural violation. He overslept. That's his sleep lock. And all of the trial locks are still unlocked. He hasn't disproven any witnesses yet, and the odds are stacked against them. So literally, this scene is Vinny standing up against about 9 locked doors with not a single one of them open, right? So this is, things are bad, and they're as bad as they're gonna get. Does that make sense? Okay, so here's where the magic happens. Right before he walked into court, Vinny Superman punched JT, the redneck that stole $200 from Mona Lisa. This storyline was a very tiny one. It had 3 little scenes, but it had one very important purpose. To show us that Vinny could argue. That's his basic skill. That's his gift for the world, is that he is an arguer, right? And we hear this from Billy. He's talking about Alakazam at his birthday party in another scene. So, but here we see it. This is his gift, and it is finally coming through. And how do we know that? Because in the opening scene with JT, he literally argues JT into doing the dumbest thing possible. So remember, JT hustled $200 from Mona Lisa playing pool. He had the money in his pocket, right? Like, JT had won. All he had to do was ignore Vinny, and he keeps the money. That's it. He had to do nothing. But Vinny argued with him so well that he got JT to actually scrounge up the $200.
Hey, little Yankee boy, look here what I got.
Fan it out, show it to me.
And chase Vinny around town until he almost literally served it up to Vinny on a silver platter, right? Like, he chased Vinny. Vinny's having a really bad day, and the guy shows up outside his hotel with $200 fanned out saying, "Fight me, take this." And so Vinny Superman punches him and takes the $200, right? He convinced this man to do the dumbest thing possible in the world. Because Vinny's a good arguer. And in that moment, we see it, and he gets the money. He gets the $200, he wins. So by punching JT and reclaiming the $200, Vinny was successfully unlocking the argument lock. That was, in fact, the first lock of all 14 of them. That was the fundamental one. Vinny could not win the trial. He could not be a good lawyer, and he could not become a better person if he didn't feel confident with his basic gift, argument. And that knockout punch that he gave us the proof, him and us, the proof that he needed. So what happened directly after? Vinny started unlocking his locks, like almost immediately. When he's confronted with the usher suit, when he shows up, right, the big embarrassing scene, Vinny argues with the judge and basically kind of wins. I mean, he didn't lose, and it was a stalemate for the most part, but it was the first one, and a sign that things were changing, right? Signs of clear progress. He immediately goes on to unlock the Grits guy and get Stan to fire the public defender. In the very next scene, he unlocks sleep, right? Remember, he's able to sleep like a baby despite a prison break happening all around him. He then continues to unlock the other witnesses, right? Leaves, glasses, his suit, and procedure, right? He never wears a bad suit again, and he always shows up on time, and even has an argument with the judge about procedure where the judge says, that was a really good argument, right? Of course, the last minute twist throws him off and sends us all into turmoil, and that's the FBI guy that comes with the tire analysis. But by this point, he's unlocked enough clues to finally get him to the final thing he needs to unlock, which is his trust of Lisa and his reliance on other people. Realizing that he needs help from others, he grabs Lisa, apologizes to her basically in the courtroom itself, and they together make up and solve the case using her picture and their combined car knowledge. And all of this because of a tiny side plot that built Vinny's confidence. So now, I'm tempted to break into some lesson about how life's side plots are often the most important and that should be very true, but this ain't that kind of video. So now we're just going to continue to my concrete goals for the day. And they are, make edits to the greengrocer based on feedback I recently received, and make edits to the asterisk from the same feedback. And that's what I'll do today. Hope everybody has a great day. See you later.